What's up, everybody? Welcome in to another edition of the Big Men on Campus Sports Betting Podcast. It's 5 o'clock here on a Friday, April 12th, 2019. I'm the Big Man on Campus. Wasn't on yesterday, but we're back. We got a Friday in baseball. We'll get to that. We'll do our normal, breaking a few games down. We'll take a look forward to the NBA playoffs getting going tomorrow. We'll talk a little Joel Embiid. But really the big part of the show today is catching up with friend of the show and a guy that, I've done videos with for a while. When I first started doing videos way back 5-6 years ago, Peter Loshak was one of the first people that I spoke to and did stuff with. We had an incredible rapport as far as college football totals were concerned, and we haven't heard from Peter for a while. He had his own questions with SBR, as did I. But Peter's going to join us here live from somewhere. We're going to figure out where he is. Peter, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, Big Man on Campus. How you doing?
Doing really well. It's good.
How'd you do in the NCAA tournament? Did you have a successful tournament overall in general?
I did. I was 12-5. I had a great season as far as the tournament was concerned. I ended up winning on the year. How'd you do? I know you. First of all, before we get into anything, Peter, I got to ask you.
Sure. Ask anything you want.
Where are you right now?
I'm right this minute, right this second. I happen to be in Brooklyn, New York.
Very good. Well, nice to see you back stateside. We haven't heard from you for a while. In fact, people kind of wondered where you were. I had kind of tweeted out recently over about 3 weeks ago that I had a good conversation with you. I know you're doing your thing, and you obviously had to kind of move on from something. Look, I'm not going to pry. I don't want to, I don't want to get into personal to your life. I know.
Pry. Sure, go ahead. Ask anything you want, man. I don't have to answer it.
Well, the big question is people don't want to know what happened. Why aren't you on SBR? I mean, you had a pretty successful show there. You were there a long time.
11 years. 11 years.
What the hell happened?
Well, they fired me. I guess you would say there were differences of opinion, differences of personality, just differences, the standard issue differences. I thought it was a little bit hasty. I'm not going to get into all the dirty laundry, as it were, because it's just not a professional, thing to do. And I am still a professional. But it was just, but actually, when I'm not going to tell the whole story, but it was actually a really weird sequence of events that was actually kind of reminded me in retrospect of like Curb Your Enthusiasm. You know how like Larry David finds himself in like a series of like sort of coincidentally bad, events that happen that sort of have a synergistic effect on each other and wind up with him winding up in these crazy situations. That's kind of like what it was in kind of a dark way. It was a really weird sequence of events that reminded me a little bit of Curb Your Enthusiasm, just a little bit, with like miscommunications and coincidental, timing and stuff like that. So it was kind of weird. I wish I could tell the story, but I'm not going to because that wouldn't be entirely professional.
Yeah, I look at you, and I've talked to you a lot, and we've caught up. And I got to tell you, seeing you, you look really good. You look healthy.
Really?
I'll be honest. I know I look pretty big as usual, but I think you look really good. I think you look healthy. You have that, always your look. You're kind of, you have that beard, and you look healthy. I'm sure a lot of people agree. A lot of people are chiming in and happy to see you back. A lot of people saying hello, and it's good to be back with you, Peter. Many years ago, we used to do shows together, you and I, and we kind of did different things, but I'm happy to see you doing well. And I know kind of, SBR's kind of moved its different way. I haven't really said much about why I'm not there. We just kind of, there, like you said, it was a differing of opinions, and we kind of moved a different way. I'll ask you this. How are you feeling right now? You mentally there? You're feeling a mind, body, and soul? How do you feel right now?
I have been eating walnuts and pistachios because I read an article saying that it helps your brain function in general. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how I'm feeling right now because it's just kind of weird. Like I started SBR videos, of course, 11 years ago when there was a different YouTube channel. I was actually there for 11 years. So it was, and as you know, as everyone who does sports betting, day in and day out knows, it's basically a 24/7 endeavor except for the All-Star break in MLB. But other than that, it's like, you're just kind of like grinding it out. Every day and night. So it's been kind of like 11 years since I've had a break. And that was my entire life for 11 years. So now I'm not exactly sure. I can't tell. It's kind of nice to not quite know. Everyone's like, oh, I'm so miserable or I'm happy right now. It's kind of nice and weird to actually not know how you're doing. You know what I mean? I really don't know. I have no idea.
Just moving.
I know I'm eating healthy though.
You're moving to the beat of your own drum. And I'm telling you, a lot of people are seeing it as well. You look upbeat. You look like you kind of took some time, which I would advise everyone to do. I don't do it, but I know during my college basketball year when I had a kind of a tough run, you take some time, go do something else, and try to find some balance in your life. Peter, I got to ask you, and we're going to get to some MLB. Peter's got some good stuff. We'll talk.
Yeah, I'm having a good MLB season once again. Kind of incidentally, the one thing is, because when you were preparing for videos, you have to be basically an expert on every game. So you have to, do your full research on as much as you can. But when I took a step back, I started to kind of only make the bets that because I was only, capping at half the intensity that I normally do. And so the result was I noticed that I started to only make the bets that were just the super obvious plays that I didn't even have to think twice about. And so over the past few months, I've actually been been betting a lot less, but my winning percentage is just much better than it's ever been, including in baseball, which is kind of nice as well. You know what I mean?
You can zero in on the game you want to talk about, which is good, and you want to look at. That's great. Peter, we're going to get into that in a little bit. I really kind of want to just ask you, what's the future going to hold for you? What are you going to do going forward? What do you want to do? Someone's asking here, Goose is back up. And I want to, first, before we do anything, I want to welcome everybody in. I know there's a lot of people that, kind of have been doing their own thing. Maybe they don't know I'm on the air. Maybe they just don't want to fucking listen to me. I don't know.
But you have a lot of haters, big man.
I do.
I never quite realized that until I posted my link.
Which I'm very proud of, I got to say, because when given the opportunity, none have stepped up to the table and did anything about it. So either way, thanks for watching, whatever you're doing. Maybe we could bring you back. I just like to have fun and talk about sports. There's no animosity for me towards anybody. Peter, someone's asking, Goose is back. We welcome them in. Do you have a health problem? Do you have any health problems, Peter?
I have some health problems. Yeah, a little bit here and there, definitely. And that was the part of, of my struggles for the past year. I don't really, want to get into it. But yeah, I do have a little bit of health problems, not, nothing life-threatening, but it's definitely there. And I do want to take one moment to just give one sincere, massive shout out of thanks to everyone who was supportive of me in any way, whether it was sending me personal messages or, posting supportive things on Twitter or saying nice things. I was really overwhelmed with the outpouring of positivity that I saw. And it really did make a huge difference. And so I just want to say a massive, huge thank you and shout out to everyone who supported me in every way that they did.
Peter, I try to
I'm sorry?
Tell you that your reach to people is a lot bigger than you think. I think a lot of people enjoy your candor. They enjoy your wittiness. They enjoy your ability to break a game down. And I've often told you, I remember the first time, and I'm sure maybe you remember it, the first time I ever tried to do a video. I remember I contacted you, and you kind of put me in the right way. And I remember filming the videos with you, and you were always super kind to me. And I always respect everything you do, and I'm happy to see you kind of back on your feet. But what's the future for you, Peter? What are you going to do now? I mean, what's are we going to see you back on the air again? What's the future?
If someone's willing to pay me, yeah, I'll be back on. Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? If one of those fuck faces in media, around the world, wherever they are, digital media, internet media, broadcast media, any of those fuck faces want to pay me, definitely I'll be on the air. Of course, it's just, and there are a few people who did, send me some messages and reach out to me. I haven't gotten back to them yet. So I really don't know what the future holds. But yeah, of course, I would love to be back on the air in some fashion.
I think we definitely need you on the air. That's definitely something that I think a lot of people would like to see. There's plenty of people in your corner, as you know. Peter, again, I want to thank everyone for joining us. If you can, do us a favor, hit the like button and retweet the show. Let people know that Peter's on the air. Maybe people don't even know. We kind of threw this together last night. So, if you're out there on Twitter, retweet the show. Make sure people can see it and make sure people know that Peter is with us live. Peter, anything else you want anyone to know? We're going to get into some sports. We're going to talk about some games, but is there anything else you want people to know? This is your floor. We haven't seen you, and how long has it been, Peter, since you were last on the air? How long has it been? Do you know?
I think it was what was it like? Because right after the Super Bowl, I think it was like the first video back after the Super Bowl was when I got canned. So I think that was like February 9th or 10th or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Very good. look, there's some comments in here about Mike Brenner. Listen, we'll talk about anything on this show. I don't mind. Listen,
look, there's a lot of hate. Look, I think, no one's perfect. I know there's some people who thought that I might be like perfect. I'm not perfect either. Sure. Me, Mike Brenner, big men on campus, we all got our faults and issues. You know what I'm saying? Anyone thought I'm perfect? No, not even close. Not even close.
No one's perfect.
No one's perfect. Not Mike Brenner.
But I think it's key to say, Peter, that Mike Brenner is doing well. You know that, and I think I kind of know that as well.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. Those videos. The whole video kind of grouping right now is all different. I mean, you talk to Mike a little bit more frequently, Pete, but that was a great team. Always some great videos. Stuff like pull that trigger pistol.
He's not a perfect person, but I definitely love him. I still am in contact with him. He's got his faults, but he's got his great personality traits and characteristics as well. And we're definitely friends. I would, definitely work with him in the future. He is doing well. He's had his struggles in life. He's open about his struggles that he's had in his life, but I don't want to put it on blast right now because I don't know who knows what. But he is. As last I talked to him, he's doing well, and I'm happy for that. It was really just like I wish I could just tell everything that happened, because it really was like a Shakespearean turn of events over the past 4 years, just like things that you can't believe happened. And but I can't quite talk about it all now because it's just not quite appropriate right now. But I would love to. And Mike Brenner in those years figures in as a key player for sure.
Well, Peter, listen, I brokered this meeting of the minds between you and I. If I could broker Mike Brenner, would you do something between?
Sure, definitely. No, and I do want to thank you. Big man, there's people who say all sorts of horrible shit about you, and maybe it's true, but I just want to say that I appreciate, that when I was having a hard time, you called me, you talked to me for hours, you were very nice to me, very supportive, you said a lot of nice things to me, and even if you were bullshitting me, it made me feel better at the time. So I just want to, thank you for taking time out of your life to talk with me for a while.
No, Peter, listen, I've said it again, and I'm going to say it now. I'm a very big fan of yours. I always enjoyed working with you. Listen, I'm going to go ahead and say this right now.
Say it.
I don't give a fuck what people think of me. I never have. I march to the beat of my own drum, but I do want people to know I actually am a pretty good guy deep down. I keep my personal life personal, but I try to always be very nice to people. I have one simple thing that I abide by, and I'm going to say it now. If you're fucking mean to me, I'm going to be mean to you back. It's that simple. If you're nice to me, I'm going to be nice to you. It's really simple. I'm a little bit different.
If you're mean to me, I'm going to think about whether or not you're right or not. And if you're right, I'm just going to be like, yeah, that person has a point. I guess that's the only difference.
Exactly. I'm old school, and listen. If I have to tell you to go get your fucking shine box, I'm going to tell you to go get your fucking shine box. It's that simple. And if you don't like it, don't like it. We can all listen to what we want to listen to. If you don't want to listen, don't listen. You're free to do what you want to do. A question came about, and I want to make this real clear. People know that Jim and I don't get along. It's that simple. I wish him the best. I really do. Someone asked, is the relationship with you guys great? Well, what's the story there, Peter?
Oh, me and Jimmy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, our relationship is fine. Fine. I mean, it's great. I mean, I love him. He loves me. I assume he says it publicly, but, yeah. Oh, none of the problems none of the issues had anything to do with Jimmy at all. And yeah, I still love him. He loves me, and I would love to work with him again in the future. You know what I mean? It's just not in our hands. It's in the hands of the fuck faces, the suits, right? The guys with the money, the guys in charge.
Well, Peter,
they call the shots. You know what I'm saying?
I try to tell you this, and I think you're starting to buy in. You got to do what you got to do. Sometimes you got to go look for the companies that don't have the suits. They just have the guys that know how to run shit and take care of business. Just because you wear a suit, that don't mean you're running shit. You're going to be found. You're a great talent, and I, like I've told you, and the reason I talked to you for so long is because I generally enjoy you. I consider you a friend. I would always be there for my friends. And that's one thing about me that people don't know. I'm the most loyal motherfucker there is. If I'm going to stand pat to what I do, and I like you, and I'm going to go to bat for you any way I can. Peter, listen, want to read a few comments here. I know you don't have them in front of you. I know a couple people in here that that enjoy you. Who do we have here?
Yeah, Hugh, I'll give another one. While you're reading comments, just look and scan. I'm going to give a second massive, huge shout out of thanks and gratitude to all the people who were so supportive in every way that they were, Twitter, personal messages, all that shit. I didn't have it. I was taking a lot of time off. And so a lot of days went into weeks where I didn't respond to anyone. And so I didn't get a chance to personally respond to everyone that I wanted to. And I hope that I will be able to in the future. But I want to give a second massive shout out to everyone who gave me positivity and support in all the ways they did. Second one.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
A couple of comments here. We got Barry Cohen. I can't get that.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Barry Cohen. Thank you so much for your message, Barry Cohen. I'm going to write back to you today.
I'm going to read the comment. He says, miss you, Peter. Hope all is well. We also have Aspire to Elate. He's saying
Latte. I gave him that nickname. People don't realize how much shit I invented, like having a horrible negative record and making a graphic out of it. I invented that. You know what I'm saying? No one did that before me. And Twate Latte. I gave him that name. Twate Latte. What's up, man?
He's saying Peter's the man. Looks great. Love the hat. So there you go. Someone likes the hat. That's great. Paco Healy. Peter, you should.
Healy. Shout out to Paco Healy.
You should write a book.
Yeah, big man. That's what I was thinking today. We got it. Obviously, sports betting it's really weird what's going on right now because there's two things that are happening. First, the legalization in the United States, and then second of all, the explosion of analytics, which is changing baseball this year, by the way. And I think it's going to catch a lot of people, by surprise in the betting markets. I think a lot more teams are going to become like the Rays very, very soon. We can talk about that later. I want to make a fucking sports betting movie. It will be. Let's just do it. Somehow get it done. I want to have a part in writing it. I'll be in it. I guarantee you that whatever comes out will be good. I will write a book. Let's make this shit happen. An HBO series movie, something like that.
One of the parts of the book that I think would be interesting is, and this is an interesting comment from Chi Archie. He's asking,
if I can act, I'm a good actor, big man. You don't know that about me yet.
I want to hear this question answered. Can you talk about your days in New York City as a frontman of a ska band? Is there anything you can?
That was a different guy. That's not me.
Okay, that's a different. Okay, so we're Peter. That's in his early days. We're all different when we're young.
No, I'm just kidding around. Yes, no. The truth is that yes, when I was very, very, very young, I made a lot of mistakes. One of them was pursuing music. Although I loved it, I didn't really pursue it. It just kind of took on a life of its own. I love Jamaican music still now. And when I was young, 20 years old or whatever, 21, I just started playing with some of these guys, and it kind of became successful enough that we played shows and made some money and stuff like that. So that was something that I did for a bunch of years. That was probably a little bit of a waste of time, but I definitely, I don't have any natural musical talent, but I have natural musical love, and I can sing a little bit. So it sort of took on a life of its own, and then I used that as as something to distract myself from reality for a few years in my early 20s. But yeah, I did that in my early 20s for sure.
Very cool. And I'm going to read this guy's comment, even though he is very rude to me on Twitter. I'm going to be the bigger man.
What's his name? Yes,
his name is Dom Ricci.
Oh, Dom Ricci! Shout out to Dom Ricci. You gave me a baseball hat that I still have. I love any gift anyone gives me. Becomes one of my most prized possessions. I thank you so much, Dom Ricci, for that hat. I still have it and love it.
Dom Ricci says he loves you, Pete, and thanks to me for doing this today. I want to say something to him. He has made comments about me being a tout. Keep in mind, I don't work for free. Again, I have bills just like anyone else. I try to scrap together a little money doing the picks. I can't sit here and work for free, Dom. I wouldn't expect you to go to your job and work for free. So I'm not some guy that sits on a phone and tries to get people to buy picks and gives them one side and gives another person another. So I appreciate it if we all looked up the word scam in a dictionary. Because you don't like someone does not make them a scam. Let's move on. But Dom Ricci, very nice of you to join us. We are dropping the hammer here, and we thank you for watching. What else do we have here? Peter, let me ask you. And I'm not asking you to commit now, but I think people would love to hear from you. We got to get you on. We got to get you doing stuff. If you want to just do something for the time being, I'd love to see you maybe once a week, or we just get you your own channel and you do your own thing. I think people need that and want that. Real quick, Peter is the reason I watch videos about gambling on YouTube. I want a Peter Loshak shirt for the gym, says the Real TC.
Oh, huge shout out to the Real TC. Yeah, I got to get some merch. I'll figure out a way to do that if I can. I don't know how to make T-shirts about myself, but I'll look into it. Huge shout out to the Real TC. Real TC. I felt, I had some. The thing is, this college basketball, this NCAA tournament, I actually did really well because I'm wondering like what everyone else's picks were because I only took the plays that I knew were super obvious. Like when Auburn played UNC. I was all over the over. And I was like, as bad as I was feeling at that moment, I was like, man, this is such an obvious play. I should really tweet this out to people, but I didn't do it. But I did get burned. I gave a lot of it back. Do you know what I did in the final? Because I was talking to someone sent me a text message about the final, wanted to know what I was doing. And I told him that I would only live bet it, that I wasn't going to bet it pregame. And he said, will you live bet it with me? And I said, okay, sure. And I did wind up live betting it right after a few minutes into the second half. I live bet Texas Tech plus 7.5. Wow. I swear on my life, I'm not even kidding. Texas Tech plus 7.5, and then it went to OT and they lost by 8. Brutal, big man. How did you do? Did you have Texas Tech or Virginia? Did you bet that last game?
I did. I had Virginia.
Nice.
We said the last game.
Yeah.
I had Texas Tech.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I did quite well in the tournament, but the last 2 picks or so didn't do well. I just kind of, I don't know. Virginia not covering against who was it? I guess the second to last game was tough.
Auburn.
But yeah, I had
I had Auburn.
Yeah, I didn't. I went the other way. I thought Auburn would have a lot of trouble shooting against that 3-point defense. I just thought it was kind of a tough matchup. But overall, I had a good tournament. I think we both.
Lesson there. Pay attention to the advanced analytics because before the tournament, Virginia was like 7-1, even more than that at some places to win the tournament. A lot of the advanced analytics that I saw had Virginia rated higher than Duke pre-tournament. You know what I mean? So pay attention to those advanced analytics and be very careful of the one and done teams like Duke. They always are overvalued in the tournament. You know what I mean?
I think you're totally right. We saw that against, like a UCF when they were getting all sorts of points. A couple more comments, and then we'll move on here. A couple of regular people that we usually see: Guan White, DJ Big Boss. DJ Big Boss is out there. He's
shout out to DJ Big Boss.
He's a great guy. Met him out in Vegas. Who else do we have? Robbie
Tagaloa. Huge shout out to Robbie Tagaloa.
We got all sorts of people in here. This is a great question. I want to get to this question.
Okay.
Jeff, was there a time you didn't get along with Peter? Twitter is going nuts with that stuff. Not that I know of. I've known Peter longer than most of you, really anybody. I mean, outside of Natalie, and Peter, I was the longest tenured person there. I was there for. I was back with the Joe Duffys and the Brandon Shiveleys and the Justin Batts, Peter. You remember all those guys?
Of course, all those guys. Yeah, one guy. Yeah, here's one guy. He said guy doesn't like you. He said he called you a clown and accused you of being a drug user on many occasions. But I mean, a clown is a legitimate. That's did you ever call me a clown? I'm not offended by that, by the way.
If that can be proven, I'd like to see it. As far as a drug user.
Look, I seem like a drug user. I know it. I do.
But Peter, if I did say it, which I don't remember ever saying that because I have a lot of people that I know that have been drug addicted and whatever, but no, I don't think I would ever say that. I think that happens to be made up stuff from guys with 60 accounts that want to pretend to be other people and have major mental issues and need to seek help. But no, I mean, as far as I know, I don't remember any issues with Peter. I've always been a guy that has enjoyed him, and we've always done stuff together. Peter, 1 or 2 more here. Have you heard from Joe Gavassi? You ever hear from him?
No.
Okay.
No. Joe Gavassi. I mean, whatever he's doing, I'm sure that he's as mysterious as ever. I have no idea what's going on with Joe Gavassi, though.
Now, this is a question for me, Peter, and I want you to answer this. I don't want you to say, I'm not going to answer that. You have to answer this question, unless there's just a reason you don't want to answer it. Obviously, other than the guys you did shows with regularly, like Jimmy or Mike Brenner, Who is your favorite person to do guest videos with when you were back doing like college football and NFL videos? Was there a guy you enjoyed or just thought he was particularly good or you just thought he was witty? Who was it?
The shows that I enjoyed doing more than any other?
Yeah. Did you have a guest you enjoyed or?
Jeff Cadillac was my favorite by far. Great. I mean, I look forward to that every week. That was the highlight of my week, you know?
I still remember, Peter, there was a video you did with Jeff Cadillac where you were talking Falcons and Panthers. And I remember Joe used to come on and like just talk, or Jeff used to come on and just talk about players and stuff. And you said to him, now Jeff, we don't want to hear about all the players and stuff like that. You know, I actually watch that video quite frequently. Really fucking great stuff, man.
Yeah, I love Jeff Cadillac. He was definitely, if I had to pick one person to do videos with for the rest of my life, and I can only do videos with that one person, Jeff Cadillac, hands down.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that's a great answer. Whatever happened to him?
I don't know, but I'm sure he's on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, he had the New York
accent. He can still be found. Jeff Cadillac 1 on Twitter.
You know, I actually – you know what's funny, Peter, about Jeff Cadillac? I remember about 2 or 3 years ago, and it was funny because I was talking with Zach at SBR. Him and I were talking, and I actually brought him up, Jeff Cadillac, and I said, is there any way we could find him to get him to do like a video spot? And I saw he was working like at some like small radio station in like Long Island or something. But
you don't say.
But he's actually on Twitter. I'm seeing him. He last tweeted on April 8th.
So he's around. I'm sure he's around.
He has a show every Saturday night at 10 o'clock on New York City 970, The Answer.
Okay.
That. So if anyone's curious. All right, Peter, let's get into a few predictions. Sure. If you got any baseball, what do you look for? What are you looking for on the card tonight? Do you have anything you like?
No, I mean, there's a bunch of plays, but baseball is so friggin' frustrating because, like, you know, when you're giving, first of all, you know, the analytics guys are really sharpening these lines, so the edges are there, but it's just like so frustrating to give out like, you know, a plus 140 line that should be plus 125, and you know, it's but I can, so you know, I'll tell you what I'm on tonight. Let me just refresh my memory here, and I'll tell you what I'm on tonight. I kind of like Milwaukee as a dog. I kind of like that Milwaukee pitcher to be a little bit better and a little bit undervalued going forward. So I kind of like Milwaukee and Milwaukee's second half tonight. I'm thinking about Houston's second half tonight. Let me just pull up my my sheet here, and let me tell you what I bet. Just give me 1 second. 1 second.
Mariners great baseball right now, 13-2. I think they have 36 home runs already. Pretty amazing stuff. They're playing terrific baseball.
Yeah, I kind of like Houston on the second half in that one. I'm not convinced that Seattle is going to that's going to last for Seattle. Houston tends to be a little bit overvalued. I'm definitely looking at Houston. I want to wait for the lineups though to come in, but I'm definitely thinking about Houston on the second half. The 7 o'clock games. Let me just find what I bet. And again, I'm doing the same things I always did in MLB the past 2 years. A lot of like team totals, a lot of second half stuff, and a lot of totals in general. And did you know that I had the last 2 years in MLB when I was actually giving out picks? Because people forget that before Mike Brenner came, I didn't give out picks. I just interviewed other people who gave picks, and that was much more like pressure free. You know what I mean? But you know, things changed, and then all of a sudden I became someone who had to, you know, give out picks and track them and everything. But the last 2 years in MLB, the whole season I had like a 2% ROI. Both years, last year and the year before, and that was over. I don't know how many. I don't remember exactly how many picks they were, but like, you know, 500 or so picks, or maybe more than that over the entire season. 2% ROI, both last year and the year before. So, and I'm doing it again this year. And so let me see. What am I looking at here? I'm thinking about. Let me see. I guess Philly and the Marlins first 5 under and full game under. I took that one 4.5 and under 8.5. Who's starting for Philly? It's Arrieta, right? Arrieta I'm kind of down on, but obviously the Marlins have, you know, Arrieta's a guy I'm definitely looking to fade going forward. But I think that that Miami's anemic offense is for real right now, and someone like Arrieta is probably going to have a quality start against them. So I took the under on that one, first 5 and full game. I'm sorry, but I'm definitely looking to fade Arrieta long term though this year.
The one concern I have with that under, and I'll tell you what it is. I know It's rained off and on all day around here. I know there's some thunderstorms moving through. I guess my only worry would be is like Arrieta sits for an hour and they end up taking him out, and then it becomes a bullpen game. But Alcantara
is in Miami though.
Oh, then never mind. I didn't even look at that game. My fault.
No, that's okay. Yeah. I thought in general, I'm going to be looking at unders with Miami, and I've been playing unders with Miami in general, especially Miami team total unders. Don't want to take the Miami team total under in this one, and I do think that Alcantara for the starter for Miami, he probably bounces back. He's been getting grounders, and so in general, I like the under here. But I think that Arrieta is a guy that I'm going to be looking to fade in upcoming starts. The big fade, though, early on, which I saw coming a mile away, was Chris Sale. I wish that Toronto game was tonight instead of a few nights ago. Chris Sale's fastball velocity is way down, but he's continuing to be like a minus 250 favorite. So I don't know how long that's going to last, but I was all over Toronto in that last game, in Chris Sale's last start. And assuming that nothing really changes, I'm going to be looking to fade Chris Sale at the very least with team total overs. In his starts coming up. Let me see. Rodriguez has been getting hit for sure, so I'd definitely be leaning Baltimore team total overs as well, and I'd be leaning Baltimore as well at that line. Let me see. What else did I bet? Yeah, the Miami under is the main one. It's so frustrating to give like one card of picks for baseball because there's small edges on lots of plays, so it's really something where you want to give 2 weeks worth of picks and have a nice record over 2 weeks.
Well, and Peter, this is why we need you to do shows.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, I'm looking at this Toronto-Tampa game. These two have gone under a lot when they play. This Thornton's looked really good. I think 15 strikeouts and two starts. Stanix, did some decent things. I think a 1.5 ERA over his last 5 appearances. These two teams, particularly Toronto, not hitting the ball right now.
Yeah.
This has the feeling to me like a 4-2 type of game.
I actually took Tampa Bay in the second half. I took Tampa Bay second half at minus 125 on this one, and I would definitely be leaning under, although I didn't bet that one yet. But I would definitely be leaning under on that one, and I did bet Tampa Bay on the second half at minus 125, just a standard play. So I did hit that one. Yeah, I think that Toronto's struggles offensively are for real, and I think that Tampa Bay's value that we've seen from them over the past, 100 games or so is likely to continue for at least a little bit longer. At some point, the market will catch up in a big way with Tampa Bay, but for now, I still look at them as a team that I'm looking to bet on in general any given game, and very, very low to bet against. And I bet them second half here. On this
fascinating.
Yeah, I have in my notes Toronto team total under maybe, so I might hit the Toronto team total under.
Fascinating game in LA. You get the Brewers and the Dodgers, and this game is interesting for two levels. Brewers have been very good against left-handed pitchers. I'm not love Urias. He's not got a ton of experience. This Corbin Burns kid's interesting too because I'm not a huge analytic guy, but you look at his ERA on the surface 9.9, but you look at his xFIP, which is many people consider the true ERA. Yeah. It's 2.19. Yes. Quite amazing.
Yeah.
What do you think here?
I like I said earlier in the show, I'm generally looking for good things from him, looking for him to get better, and definitely looking to bet on him in this kind of a situation as an underdog. So I did take Milwaukee, and I took Milwaukee on the first half as well. And I like Milwaukee's lineup too. And I just think, as usual, we see this every year going back when? 1980, 1970, the Dodgers are just so overvalued, or not so they easily get overvalued, especially at home. You see that year in and year out with the Dodgers, the Cubs, the Yankees, and this is sort of a classic spot. Again, this is what should the fair line for Milwaukee be here? I think they should be a dog, but I think they're too big of a dog right now, and I definitely bet them, and I bet them on the first half with this guy Burns. Yeah,
I like that.
And especially with Urias because he's so up and down, so inconsistent. He gives you either 5 shutout innings or gives up 4 runs in 3 innings. So I like betting against him as getting a big underdog line as well. So yes, I'm on Milwaukee tonight.
Just want to throw one thing in here. The Masters, I did take Koepka 8.5 to 1. just bet it live about an hour ago. He's been playing terrific golf. I think he's on par for a big weekend. I kind of got off him early because of his weight issues. Supposedly he had some personal problems, but he's looked very good. You look at the current leaders, Day, Koepka, Molinari, Harding, one of the younger players playing well. And then you got Dustin Johnson, Adam Scott, John Rahm in the mix, Mickelson. There is a lot of firepower up top. And how about Justin Rose? Not going to make the cut? Justin Rose was a everyone loved Justin Rose this week, but he has been terrible the last 2
I know. I took Justin Rose just in a matchup prop against Speed. I thought that was one of my like close to no brainer. I was almost going to write in a win on that one before it started. And what happened? I don't know what happened. I had Justin Rose over Speed. That was a big matchup prop that I bet. Yes.
Yeah, he just played terribly. I mean, I saw earlier, like he had like a 6-foot putt and he just ugly. A couple of other comments here, and then maybe we'll finish up baseball and just give a couple NBA thoughts.
I want to say one other thing very quickly.
Yeah.
Pomerantz is starting tonight for San Francisco, and I'm high on him. I took the Colorado team total under. I took the Colorado first half team total under, and I'll probably be on San Francisco as well tonight. Although I haven't pulled the trigger on that. I hate. It's the biggest MLB trap in the world to take bad hitting teams as a decent sized favorite just because you like the starting pitcher. In those situations, I'm almost always just going to opt for the opposing team's team total under, which I already took. So I might not take San Francisco tonight. They're just not a team that I want to bet, especially as a favorite, even with Pomerantz starting. But I like Pomerantz. I'm expecting good things from him going forward. And I took the Colorado team total unders tonight, first half and full game. That was another bet that I definitely made that I'm liking. So I guess it's the later games that I'm liking more right now. Let me just go ahead.
Just because it's intriguing. I mean, who wants to lay 150 with San Francisco?
Right. Yeah.
But, right. A couple of comments here. Aspire to Late said, Peter, I DM'd you 571 times. Please hit me back. Okay.
Yes, I will. I apologize. Twate latte. Look, listen, I'm doing well, but I'm not going to lie. It's been a little bit of a rough couple months. You know what I'm saying? You feel me?
Sure. Hearing Peter break down baseball is like music to my ears. That's very nice.
Oh, that's such a huge compliment. Yeah, and baseball is very tricky, though, because, again, it's like you're looking at, like, a lot of games with small edges. So, it's not like even in, like, college sports or even in the NFL or whatever, it's much easier to isolate a game where you have a real big, solid edge. That's just not the way baseball goes. It's just a game of percentages. And so breaking down baseball is much more of a, week by week and month by month endeavor. So,
this is kind of an odd, kind of macabre question, but we're not going to offer any answer to this because we're not fucking investigators and we're not going to speculate. What kind of solid info do you have on hearing about Tony at 5 nuts? Listen, I don't think any of us have answers on that, Chiarchi. Let's let the man rest. It's fairly macabre to ask about that. Do you have any comment on that, Peter?
No, I mean, I really don't know anything more than what's been reported in the news. I mean, right. I'm not surprised that he wound up in a situation with all this, mystery and controversy because, he kind of courted that. But that's just the kind of guy he was,
Keep in mind, I know. I mean, look, you've been in this business a long time, and I have as well. And I can't say I've ever heard anything good about people's experiences with Tony for 5 times. So. Again, I think Peter kind of said it best, so we'll leave it there. Damn it, Peter. They tried and tried, but they won't take you off YouTube. They will try.
Yeah, I had a lot of catchphrases back in my prime. I came up with a lot of catchphrases that kind of caught on. You know what I'm saying? Low-hanging fruit. I mean, I didn't make that one up, but I was quite handy with a catchphrase here and there back when I was on top of my game.
All right, Peter, let's do this. Let's give out one. What's your favorite baseball player? Do you have one?
I guess my favorite. Oh, fuck. I guess I'll say, shit. I guess I'll say, all right, I'll say, I don't know. See, that's the problem. Now the fucking pressure's on. Now I remember why it's so relaxing not to have to do videos anymore because you don't have to give out these friggin' picks, pressure of birthday picks every fucking day. If I had to give one MLB pick, I guess it would be. Let me see. Let me just. I guess it would be. I guess it would be. All right, Colorado team total under. I guess that would be it. What the hell?
It's a good one.
Probably 3.5.
Jake Bell chiming in.
Shout out to Jake Bell. Huge shout out to Jake Bell.
I want to shout out to him as well. There's nothing better to me than when I see my friends defending me. And I'm not sure that Jake Bell's a friend, but he was defending me. And that's very, very big in my book. He said, this has suddenly become the greatest show on YouTube or on the planet. Wow.
Huge shout out to Jake Bell. Huge shout. Jake Bell said so many positive things to me on Twitter, in comments. Thank you so much, Jake Bell. This shit really does matter and really does brighten my mood and change my life. Huge shout out to you.
We have a listener named Native Queen.
God, Native Queen.
Peter, really you are the greatest.
What'd you say?
You said, Peter, you are the greatest.
Thank you so much, Native Queen. I hope everything. I know you've had some problems in your life. I hope that's going okay, Native Queen. I love you, Native Queen. Huge shout out. I hope you have a great year this year in all ways, betting and personally.
Well said. Peter, quickly, NBA. Got some series getting going tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll throw out a couple and see what you think here. Look, I'll be honest. I don't think Portland has any chance against Oklahoma City. I just don't. OKC swept the season series. McCollum's a little beat up. I think defensively, OKC is really solid, especially with Westbrook and Paul George. I think Terrence Ferguson's quite the defender as well. I really like what they do. Look, I don't know if they'll sweep them, but I think this is quite a low price. I like OKC in this series.
Yeah, I like OKC too. But what happened with OKC? Like their transition scoring, which is something that they do well. Like it was tailed off in a major way in the second half. First half of the season, they were killing it with their transition scoring, doing great. Second half of the season, they were still running a lot of transition plays, but they weren't scoring as much. That's also a big vulnerability with Portland. And I'm liking OKC here as well. Portland is just not good against teams that have a lot of transition possessions. And that's what OKC does well. That's their bread and butter offensively. And I just think that OKC is going to have a big advantage there. I'm just concerned that their scoring went way down. They stopped hitting their threes in transition, and they stopped scoring in transition, even though they were still running as many transition plays and getting as many transition opportunities. So that makes me nervous. But I definitely, in general, am liking OKC here. Let me check. I'm going to quickly check the series line here on OKC. Yeah, they're like where are they? They're like minus 150, 160. I don't know if I would say the Blazers. I mean, OKC they feel a little bit of a head case team to me. I mean, at one point they were like a historically good defensive team, in the beginning of the year, and then their defense tailed off as well. So they feel a little head casey to me. But if they're I agree. If they're at the top of their game, I agree with you. Portland has no chance. But they just feel like a head case team. I agree with you. I think that OKC probably has value at minus 150 or so. Right?
Yeah, I like that a lot. Toronto, Orlando. I think Toronto obviously rolls in the series. I just don't think Orlando could score enough. Toronto -3 in the series. I think that has some value. Maybe at worst you get a 4-1, but or 3-1. Sorry.
I'll tell you what I'm thinking about. There's one series that has me scratching my head a little bit, and that's the Spurs Nuggets. Now I know the Spurs are maybe on the tail end of their they're on the decline in their dynasty, but I'm thinking that this might be. I'm not necessarily saying that the Spurs have value to win the series at plus 215, but I'm thinking that maybe the Spurs plus a game and a half or something like that, or maybe just to look on the Spurs to cover spreads in general in this series might be the way to go. Because I'm thinking that the Spurs might come to play a little bit more than the market is giving them credit for. I'm not sure they should be this big of a dog in general to Denver. I mean, the Spurs, they hit their threes, right? And that's a vulnerability for Denver. And I'm thinking that and defensively, I think they match up well with Denver as well, right? Denver's the kind of team that doesn't like to take mid-range shots, and the Spurs are very good at forcing. I look at the matchups when it comes to, when I analyze NBA playoffs, which I'm much better at than I am NBA regular season. I look at the matchup advantages. Fights, styles make fights, as they say. And I'm thinking that the stylistic matchup here might favor the Spurs a little bit more than the market is giving credit for. You agree with that or not?
No,
Okay.
Because look at the Nuggets. I mean, didn't really play too well down the stretch. I mean, that was kind of one of the issues they had. Look, anytime Greg Popovich is in the playoffs, anytime I grab a game with them, I'm interested. You look at plus 1.5 for the Spurs, plus 105. So a little plus money there. We know they're a terrific home team, still one of the best home teams in the NBA. I'm kind of liking that myself.
They might steal the series, and I'm telling you, you're going to see it. They're going to play well defensively. They're going to force the Nuggets to take mid-range shots, and if they hit their threes, I think they could steal the series. And I think probably plus 1.5 at plus 105 is a good bet. I'm not sure about that, but that's what I'm thinking, big man.
Hearing some bad things in this town right now about Joel Embiid. I'm hearing all things all over the place. He is, according to Rich Hoffman, who's a Philadelphia Daily News writer, he was asked, what's his playing status? Embiid responded, I have no idea. Definitely some weird things. When asked about how the pain felt, he said, I don't know. Definitely very odd questions. And this Brooklyn team played the Sixers quite well, Peter.
Definitely.
Good team. Joe Harris, D'Angelo Russell, Allen. This is a good basketball team playing good here. Do I think they'll win this series? No, but again, some of these handicaps are really interesting. You know, you could take plus 1.5, Peter, with the Nets, plus 235, plus 2 at plus 155.
Yeah. I would definitely be leaning Nets as far as spreads are concerned in general in this series, especially to start. Not sure if I'd want to take them on a series bet at all, but I have to look into that a little bit more. I haven't thought about a possible play on that, but I was definitely leaning Nets on the spreads. What do you think about the Celtics against the Pacers? I know it's very treacherous to take these minus 450 favorites or whatever, but I don't think the Pacers have a chance in hell of winning this series.
I think this series is about as easy as it gets to me,
right,
other than the Warriors. I think the Warriors will have a ton of success. But, I look at Boston, and while they're a 4 seed and while they won't have Marcus Smart, I just don't think that the Pacers are very good without Oladipo. And in fact, I mean, you look at the defensive efficiency goes from 4th to 12th without Oladipo. Offensive efficiency goes down to 22nd from 15th. They're just not very good without Oladipo. It's that simple. Yeah. The Celtics is still a solid team, well coached. We know that Brad Stevens can just kind of coach circles around certain people. I think this is a really good bet. In fact, I'm looking again at these kind of series handicaps. I think minus 1.5 looks terrific here, even minus 2.
What's the line?
I'm getting that up here in just a second. I mean, even laying like a 2.5. I think maybe Indiana can win one game, but outside of that, I don't see it. Let me get that number here.
I don't know. You said except for the Warriors are like minus 20,000. Sure. The Celtics are just minus 450. I think you can get
a high price, a price not a lot of people want to lay. Let's look at some of the handicaps here. Boston minus 2.5 at plus 105. I like that. 4-1, 4-0. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, in general, unless you're going to bet into volatility, the edge on all the series prices should be, very similar. I'm thinking that Boston for series prices probably has a little bit of value. Maybe not a lot, but a little bit.
Angel Romero checking in saying, just wanted to say hi and hi and hope all is great with you. Cordero, miss you.
Oh, yes. I used to come up with shit. You remember that, Angel Romero? Huge shout out to you, Angel Romero. A guy, anyone who's watching isn't familiar with Angel Romero, follow him on Twitter. The guy knows his friggin' Mexican soccer leagues and a few other leagues as well. Huge shout out to you, Angel Romero.
I like it. How about this, Peter? Alex B. Smith checking in, a handicapper, saying bet on Penn's Isles first period over tonight. Okay.
I haven't looked at the NHL playoffs yet. I might, without an official job in sports betting right now, I have the luxury of skipping things, and I've kind of skipped the NHL playoffs. So I usually do very well, and those kind of first period totals in the playoffs tend to be something that I've like to bet on in general. So,
here's what I'm going to tell all of you, and I'm going to I couldn't tell you shit about hockey. One thing I do know is I know and feel things. And one of the things I feel is the New York Islanders are going to win the Stanley Cup. I get a feeling about that. So take that for what it's worth. But great stuff. Great, Alex B. Smith. We're going to get on that. First period over. So, Peter, you haven't looked much into the NHL. Will you, or what's the story there?
Yeah, I probably will. I mean, that's the thing. It's like if I look into it, it'll be for my own betting, and then I could tweet it out. But it's like, I don't know if I want to tweet out things and have people like tail them, and then if they lose, I feel bad. If they win, I feel good. But it's like, no, I probably will look into the NHL playoffs, and if I see something that I'm really definitely liking, I will, maybe tweet it out. Another game that I didn't realize that I was that I forgot to mention is the White Sox against the Yankees. Jay Happ is I don't know. I understand that the White Sox are terrible, but I'm just not sure if Jay Happ should be. Do you mind if I switch back to baseball for a second? Yeah, I'm just not sure if Jay Happ should be a -230 favorite or whatever. And Giolito, he's one of these guys where it's like the bigger dog price you're getting with him, the better, because he's either going to get crushed or have a great start. 2 starts ago, you had a no-hitter into the 7th inning. White Sox on the first 5 innings might be a great play tonight. That's something I was thinking about as well, and I think I might bet that one. Giolito, very scary guy to a bet on, but the bigger dog line you can get betting on him or against him is great, and I'm definitely looking to fade Happ right now, maybe even with the White Sox team total over. But definitely thinking about the White Sox team total over, definitely thinking about the White Sox on the money line, and probably even better, White Sox on the first 5 innings money line.
Very good. A lot of great knowledge from Peter Loshak. And, I'm definitely going to try to see if, Peter has some interest, maybe just getting back into the swing of things, maybe doing something going forward. We'll see what we can do. I do want to throw something out, and I want to make this aware to all of you. And I have a reason for this pick. Many people know I'm a big England soccer guy, but a lot of the lower leagues, it's something I did at SBR. I got something for you tomorrow. It's in League 2. That is the 4th level of English football. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. I like Tranmere to beat the MK Dons, and I'm going to tell you why. This Tranmere team at home, Peter, I'm sure you're not an English geography wizard, but
a little bit about it. Sure.
Tranmere is up towards Liverpool. It is very far. I've actually talked to Flash Watson, who is a former player in a few different leagues in England. He mentioned to me that this is a trip not a lot of teams like to make. It's a far trip. It's a far ride. MK Dons are from Milton Keynes, which is just north of London. It's a far trip for them here. Tranmere's been very good at home. They've been almost a fortress at Prenton Park. I like Tranmere. I'm going to take a draw no bet option here at about even 110. I think it's a really good play. If we draw, you get your money back. But I like the draw no bet option here a lot. Tranmere, yes, against Milton Keynes Dons. I love this team at home, and that's the only soccer I'll throw out there. I'm not going to bore people here.
Oh, that's all right. I'm trying to tail it. I just can't fucking find it. It was Tranmere.
The England League 2.
England League 2. Oh, there you go.
We're going to do the draw no bet or the pick 'em, whatever you have.
Okay.
Is Peter still in Costa Rica? No, he is not. He's in New York.
Right. No, I'm in New York right now. You asked me where I was right now.
Yeah, correct. Right. I'm answering a question. Someone asked, is Peter still in Costa Rica? I will say this also, Peter. Someone said that you, from the looks of it, look like you're in Park Slope. Is that true or no?
No, not in Park Slope.
Okay. I don't know how that would be. I'm not sure how his surroundings would point that he's in Park Slope, but interesting. Alex Smith saying, so it's like a college hoops team going to Laramie, Wyoming. It's not that bad. It's just for a lot of teams. League 2 is not the glitziest league in the world. I mean, it's a far trip. So it's definitely taxing on MK Dons. I think they will have a little trouble going up there. And at worst, I think we see a draw here. Peter, that's that.
All right, let me just give 3 official plays. Right. Three official plays. My first post SBR official plays on the NBA series. I will give OKC Thunder just to win at -155. I will give the Spurs, I guess, +1.5 at +105, and I will throw on Boston at about -450 to win. Now that might be a stupid bet, but I think there's value even at -450 with Boston just to win the series, right?
No, I really like those plays, actually, all of them. I'm really interested in some of those. I'll throw out. I love Boston. I think even laying like the 2.5 at plus 105. I think at worst that's 4-1. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a sweep. I just don't think Indiana is very good without Victor Oladipo. I love the Thunder one as well. One we didn't talk about, Peter. Jazz Rockets. We didn't talk about that much. I have a feeling, I think a lot of people need to look more into the game-by-game games between these two. And Rudy Gobert had real trouble against this Rocket team because basically it was what James Harden does, get into the lane and draw fouls. Eventually you're going to have to work with getting players off the court because they're in foul trouble. Gobert did not play particularly well, but I like this Jazz team. I think I think from all intents and purposes, they were right there as far as net rating. I think these are two really good teams. I think this series could go 7. If there's a bet, will the series go 7? I think that's kind of an interesting one.
Yeah, I didn't look into this one as far as the matchups are concerned in depth. Some of the matchup statistics that I like to look at, but my first thought is definitely I'd be leaning Utah in general as a dog. Not necessarily that I think they're going to win, but that I agree with you that I think it's going to be closer than the market is currently giving good credit for. But that is just a cursory surface analysis right there for me.
Utah Jazz to win in 7, 9-1, Peter.
Not bad. Yeah, not bad.
No, not bad. Houston Rockets to win 4-3, 7-2, so about 3 to 3.5 to 1. Yeah, that's interesting. Obviously, we didn't talk about Milwaukee and Detroit. Do you think Milwaukee wins any games in that? Or not Milwaukee, Detroit. Do you think Detroit wins any games there?
I don't really think about NBA series like that. Yeah, when I see a big favorite like that, I usually stay away from trying to get cute and bet on a sweep or on on a 5-game series or something like that. I usually just pass on the series analysis of those kinds of lines.
Surely. I like that way of thinking. Do you maybe take a flyer? One more thing on Clippers, whereas Clippers 30-1 to win the series.
The Clippers, no. No, I don't take a flyer on it.
I don't either. All right, good stuff, Peter. I really like. I'll recommend the Celtics minus 2.5, and I think OKC wins. I like that one against Portland. Peter, the time has come for us to ride off into a Friday sunset as we begin our weekend. It was nice to see you. Nice to see you doing well, and I will hope that we can get you on weekly, maybe to do something. And talk a little baseball. Were you going to be on Twitter more? Is that what we're going to see from you, or?
I have no friggin' clue, big man. Is anyone going to pay me? I don't know. Am I going to be tweeting tomorrow? I have no friggin' clue. No idea. I really don't. Sorry.
Well, that's fine. We'll look forward to seeing you again. I think it was just really nice for a lot of people to just see that you're doing well and things are working out, which I'm happy to see as well. Anything else you got, Peter? Any other final words before we kind of wrap it up here on a Friday?
Sure. I'll give a third huge, massive, sincere shout out to all the people who showed me support and love and positivity and everything over these past few months in all the ways that they did, ways that I know of, maybe ways that I didn't even know of. Huge, massive shout out to Nutflush Allen, wherever you are right now. I love you. Thank you so much, Nutflush Allen, Mr. Gogster, so many people that I didn't mention. And that's it. Just want to wrap it up with a massive, huge, sincere shout out of appreciation to everyone.
Very good, Peter. Always good to see you, and I'm glad you're doing well. We'll speak to you again soon, and have a good weekend, buddy. Appreciate it.
You too.
Thanks, Peter. Peter Loshak joining us live. Great to see him. Glad to see he is doing well. He seems to be looking very wholesome and seems to be feeling good. That's it, guys. That's the show. We'll ride off and have a fun night here. I'll probably be on Periscope a little bit later if you feel like catching it. I do have some news probably coming up here over the next 3 days. If you've been following me, you kind of know what's going on with me. We're still working some things out, but we're hoping I'm going to be able to announce something very soon. To me, it's huge. It's really, to me, possibly the pinnacle of my career. And it's something that I've worked tirelessly to get to for a long time. We had a great meeting yesterday, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it all goes. And I thank all of you for being able to chime in and let me know about that, that you were happy to see. So I'm hoping all that works out. And all of you, I hope, have a great weekend. I will be, again, like I said, I'll be on Periscope a little bit later, having some fun, and hopefully we have some good news to share to all of you soon. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time. Hey, if you like the show, subscribe. Again, we're always trying to put out good info here, have cool guests, and do things like that. Maybe we'll see Mike Brenner down the road. Who knows? We're going to try to do something. But you all have a great night. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Make sure if you're new around here, you subscribe so you don't miss anything. Have a great day. Bye-bye.